The Blue Lotus, Part 2. During the time of Pajamata Buddha, Upalavanna was born into a poor family. Nevertheless, she would like to dress up in fine clothes, the rich people usually wore during festivals. In order to own one, she worked as a serving girl in a rich household, on condition that, they would give her the finest cloth after 3 years. She was a morally strong and hard-working young girl with a heart of gold. The rich family gave her 2 pieces of richly embroidered cloth, even before the time was up, and let her return to her family. Proudly carrying the fine cloth, embroidered with gold thread, with dreams of wearing it, she set off for home. On the way, she met a man wearing leaves and twigs to protect his modesty. Curiosity got the better of her and she asked what was wrong. The man explained that he was a monk, whose robes were robbed by a group of bandits. She felt sorry for the monk and donated 1 piece of cloth. After wearing the golden cloth as a robe, the monk looked so perfect and refined, so different from the way he looked in the former leafy attire, that she was motivated to donate the other piece as well. Then she prayed that, because of this good deed, may she be born as a beautiful person in all her lives, beautiful enough that no other woman could outshine her in beauty, and that all the men who ever set eyes on her, would lose their mind. She was still a young girl at the time and had no idea that she was going too far and that her prayers could bring forth undesirable consequences. But it so happened that the monk was not an ordinary monk, but one of the chief disciples of Pajamata Buddha. Little did she know that she had sown seeds of kusala, good karma, on the most fertile ground. Her journey along the samsara was full of ups and downs. In one of her lives after that, she was born into the family of the royal counselor to a king named Sivi. He was a wise and just king, beloved by his subjects. She was so beautiful that every man who saw her smile that showed her teeth, went wildly crazy over her beauty. She was named Omardanti. Her father was determined that she should marry the most good-hearted and powerful man in the kingdom. He went to the king and offered his daughter's hand in marriage. The king sent his courtiers to go and see if Omardanti really have the beauty, grace and poise, deemed fit for a queen. The father invited the courtiers for lunch, and while they were having lunch, Omardanti came into the room, dressed in all her finery. The courtiers lost their senses when they saw her. One put the food in the hair. One put the food under the armpit. One chewed a plate. She laughed sarcastically, and said,
"What are these fools doing in my house? They behave as if they have never seen a woman. Get them out of my house."
The servants dragged the courtiers out into the street. The courtiers were angered and ashamed by this treatment. They thought, if she treats us so harshly even now, how would she treat people once she becomes a queen? It's unthinkable. So, they reported to the king.
She is not beautiful enough to be queen.
She is not beautiful enough to be queen.
She is proud and rude. She is proud and rude.
She is a witch who cast evil spell on us.
She is manipulative and could bring discord among the palace staff.
King Sivi took their counsel and decided not to make her his queen. The father then arranged for her to marry the second most powerful man in the kingdom, General Abhiparaka. He was the king's best friend since childhood and they trusted each other very well. One day, during the annual Festival of Lights, Abhiparaka had to leave the capital urgently to quell a border skirmish. Before he left, he told his wife Omardanti to stay indoors and not to show herself. He would not want the king to see her when he rode around the city to watch the festival. On the night of the festival, Omardanti groomed herself and dressed up in the finest clothes, waited for the arrival of the king's carriage to pass in front of her house. When the carriage arrived, Umar took her place on the balcony and threw fragrant flowers to the king. King Sivi looked up to see Omardanti and was mesmerized by her beauty. He lost his senses and asked the driver whose house it was and who was that beauty. Actually, he knew that it was the house of his trusted friend, Abhiparaka. But he lost his ability to think rationally as soon as he saw Umar's face. He was told that she was the wife of Abhiparaka. That knowledge that she was already married made him lose his mind completely. He ordered his retinue to return to the palace immediately, and he retired to his chamber, looking dazed and forlorn. When Abhiparaka came back, he scolded her for her disobedience. With his foresight, he had told her again and again not to make herself seen, especially by the king.
I saw a bearded man on a carriage. They say he was a ruler of some sort. I just threw flowers at him. I did not even know he was the king.
She lied. She was determined to avenge the king for rejecting her. Everything she did was well planned. I am ruined. You destroyed my life, Abhiparaka said to his wife in remorse. The next day, he went to see the king. The king was unable to attend court. He was still in his bedchamber. Since he was a trusted man, he had direct access to king's bedchamber. Standing outside, near the door, he heard the king singing odes to the beauty and his infatuation for Omardanti.
The girl with eyes like a frightened doe, you light up the sky like a full moon. Like the vines entwining a tree, when will your arms come and hug me? I cannot sleep peacefully thinking of you. Just like a gambler who have lost everything. If the Lord of the Devas, Indra, granted me a wish, I wish to be Abhiparaka for 2 or 3 days.
Abhiparaka overheard all this and was stricken with grief for his lovesick king. But Omadanti was his wife. The king would never take a wife who was already married. He devised a plan. He called one of his men who was good at mimicking voices to hide in the hollow part of a big tree believed to be guarded by a powerful spirit. Abhiparaka took along 3 or 5 of his trustworthy men to bear witness. Then he pretended to consult the guardian spirit about the mental health of the king. The voice from the tree spoke.
The king is depressed and heartbroken from his desire to make Omardanti to be his queen. The only remedy is for him to marry Omardanti. Otherwise, he could die from extreme heartbreak.
Then he went to meet King Sivi privately, and the two of them had a heart-to-heart talk. He told the king of the guardian spirit's advice. The king said,
How shameful! Even the tree deities know what a lovesick fool I am.
Please take her to be your queen. I willingly consent.
If I do that, all the good deeds I've done, my reputation as a noble and wise king will be destroyed. When I die, this accusal of bad karma deed of ruining another person's marriage will follow me through samsara. In this life also, people will condemn me for bad conduct. Furthermore, giving up Omardanti will break your heart.
If so, we will keep it a secret. When you get tired of her, you can give her back to me.
Do you think Deva's gods favor this kind of behavior?
My wife is my possession. I can give her to you.
I'm not accepting this proposal. Not that I don't love her. It's just that wreaking other people's lives for one's own contentment is a deed I will never do. It's unjust, unfair, and unclean. If the agony becomes too much to bear, I will kill myself, but I will never kill the moral rectitude.
Then I will divorce Omardanti legally and publicly. You are free to marry her. This plan shall be known to you and me only.
She is innocent. It is an indecent and disrespectful thing to do.
I don't care what others think.
I hate injustice. Let my anguish be my anguish. Nobody should be part of it.
You always donate inanimate and animate things to ascetics who come for alms. In the same way, now I am donating my wife to you.
Losing patience, you are my best friend. Who knows me best, Abhiparaka? You always put my interest above yours. Now, you are questioning my ethics. Just like the sea never crosses its boundary, the shoreline, patience, benevolent love, and moral ethics should never cross the boundaries. Don't make me commit any sin. If I were another king, I would behead you and take your wife.
Only then Abhiparaka gave up the idea, because he had understood that his king was the most noble and righteous king a country could have. He also noticed that the king had regained full control of himself and was ready to attend to the affairs of state like before. Then, at Abhiparaka's request, the king went on to explain the moral ethics a king must have.
In a herd of cattle, the leader ox shows the way and the rest of the herd follow him. If he walks straight, the herd walks straight. If he walks crooked, the herd walk crooked. Likewise, a king should walk the way along a morally righteous path, so that his subjects follow suit.
From then onwards, the noble King Sivi, his best friend and loyal general Abhiparaka and Umardanti, the general's beautiful wife lived happily ever after, until they went on their next lap of journey through the samsara.